Alright, peeps and peoples. Mower hooked up, grass is right there. What could possibly go wrong? The old camera's fairly dead, but you'll notice in that last video I didn't get a huge crop off the field. I'm not cutting my grass super low because I want some regrowth. I don't want the weeds to get going too good because it's been super dry and the grass isn't growing very fast. Of course, weeds don't care if it's dry or what it is, they still take off. So hey, I'll slap some fuel in this bad boy, and camera's pretty near dead, but we'll see what we can get. I could say is I didn't fertilize this year either. I had lots of grass left over from last year, so that's also why I didn't bother fertilizing either. That little piece here, I might cut the bottom edge of this. That was all work last year, but had oats and sorghum planted on it, but never got anything done with it this year. But yeah, I'll cut this bottom section, just make like just old hay basically. The field down the road too, I'll make old hay on. I'll just cut it, let it sit, flip it a couple times with the rake, weather pending. So I had too much last year, like I say, for feed, so I didn't bother fertilizing. I don't need a big crop. I cut a lot of it early. So this field's, well, it's July now, whatever it is, 3rd or something. So I'm also, I got them square balers. If I ever get them worked on again, I'm gonna leave this, probably a section in the field here, probably quite a square of it through the middle, and square bale that, I think. Let's try to. Anyway, get her fired up here. See here, there is a pretty good crop through here, but this has been reseeded here the last, oh, I don't know, within 5 years, probably 4 years ago I reseeded this whole section. There's about 8 acres here, I think. Let's get the mower fired up. The best of it probably for some nice horse, I guess you could say, square bales. This is cow pasture here. It didn't do that good. It got seeded the same time this did, but didn't get quite the love. This was all plowed and had chicken manure on it. I don't think I chicken manured this. So this had a pretty good catch. That not so much. So I got lots of bales. Those are all last year's. So I'm mowing it fairly tall. The mower's doing a terrible job, I'd say. Huh. Should have checked, made sure they were good and sharp still. But doing pretty jagged looking job, ain't it? You could drop it, like I say, I don't know. I like that. I don't need the grass. I'll put 2 into 1 anyway and bale it first thing more than likely. Yeah, it's doing an awful job on this side. Yeah, look at that. Must be dull. Maybe I'll get around the other side and check them again. If they're dull, I'll have to give them a scuff, because I don't want a terrible job like that. I just cleaned out my tractor, all vacuumed out nice. Always carry a fire extinguisher with me. Normally I carry the water one too if I got the baler on. That way I'm double covered. I had it vacuumed out. See all that old seeds and dust is all trying to fill her up. A lot of this native grass starting to come back, which, I mean, it's because the ground isn't as good as it should be. It should have a bunch of lime on it, but story of my life, right? Across the road there, I think it was 4.5 ton to the acre or something, but it didn't get it. So, but it's still pretty nice feed here. It's not, like I say, not heavy or nothing. No fertilizer. It's been extremely dry really here too, so the grass got mature fast. My goodness, isn't that a sassy looking tractor? Big fan of the Valtra. Big fan. Yeah, say she's a little light here, especially here, but as you see in that going around there, we got heavy spots, light spots, everything else. But got not cut spots apparently too, which I forgot to check. I'll get back around, I'll check it again, I guess. But this side's not doing as bad, but the whole thing probably needs a new set of blades. You can see the stuff on the mower turned it yellow. But anyway, I guess this will be the second video to show some mowing, but I'll get the cows out in this little piece of pasture here maybe next couple weeks. I just gave them a bale, so they can chew on that for a while. But yeah, say I'll leave a section of this for square bales. Hopefully I get that square baler going, at least one of them, the number 12. The number 12 was the best option, I think, for getting her going fast. But I'll leave a section of this, kind of the better of the bunch. Not that this fine grass, there's nothing wrong with this fine grass really. It's, of course, not a whole lot of feed value in it, but I mowed a bunch of this early there last year. I think it was last year. And you dump that out with a bale of this headed out Timothy. And them cows are eating this nice fine grass. This isn't really quite the same grass, I don't think, as I was cutting over there. But them cows just gobble that right up to the ground. They really like that fine grass. They're eating that before they eat this Timothy. So, and really the Timothy's out a little further than it should be. Like I said, the grass matured fast. It was only short when it did mature because of that dry spell. Like, but yeah, hopefully I'll get the square baler fixed here. My nose is all freaked up, all this pollen and stuff. But yeah, we're making cow chow anyway for the winter. Hopefully get a nice second cut. We're leaving lots of grass there to catch some energy and hopefully get boosted again and get going. Anyway, I guess we'll see you on the next one. I better get going here before the day is over. So it's the next day. Grass got a good crisp on the top somewhat. Got a few sprinkles there last night after I mowed it, of course. It's like a little crispy on the top, but not much really through it. But I get it stirred up good with the rake. That'll mix some of the greener in with the drier. That'll make a better bale too, because you're mixing it more, so it all goes together better. Some of it is quite dry. It was pretty dry when it was cut. So I'll go 2 into 1. Like I said, this is my square bale patch, but flip 2 together and run back and forth. Get her set up. Goddamn cat prints. My nose is all plugged up. I'm sure you can hear that. But this lot's wet. There's a big hump of stuff here. So what I might do is come in here. This is fairly dry. Well, I mean, it's got some lumpy. Still heavy here too. But we come over and look at our main windrows here. Really, it's quite dry. Some green like that in it, but not bad. So I better run down and get my string. Yeah, see, there's some quite green spots in it, but there's a lot of real crispy dry stuff too. Amazing how fast it can change on you, especially the heat of the day like this. See, that could use a little crispy. That's lots of green in there, so there'll still be some green in it anyway, of course. That's why I wanted to get these rows heaped up a little bit, because I didn't get a big crop. Oh yeah, that pollen all duffs me up pretty bad. Now it's worse than it was earlier. Of course, it's later in the season, I suppose. Ooh, Jesus Christ! Better crank that back. Oh, I need something to whack that with, but so this is your adjustment for your bale density. That runs that arm. This is for your core formation. You see that's pretty sprung there. You want these bales for wet grass and stuff as hard as possible. Squeeze as much oxygen out as you can. Turn it back out for hay. So I gotta make sure I crank that back in 2 turns. I serviced this, went over it. I don't think I looped the chains up. That's a pretty quick and dirty thing to do. Anyway, I better go get my twine here before my grass turns to dust. So made her back. A few new balls of twine. I just tie them together. Normally I cut the excess string off, but I just do a twirly knot there, and then I just knot the ends so they can't come apart. Just in here shaking and shivering and going on. But there's that. These balers are really good balers. Oop. Here's Doug. Your John Deere's and other makes. You have to feed your own string. This takes 2 balls, one on each side. And it has a trip on it that's set to a certain height. It's an auto wrap type deal. And it kicks an arm out on each side. They're up in here, I guess, but so there's no pulling a string and moving a thing across and nothing like that. It does the same tie every single time, which I think is probably very good on twine, because you're not sitting a little longer sometimes than others. Every bale should have basically the same amount of twine on it. It's a belt driven deal on the other side that you can control how many wraps it gets. Anyway, let's get over there, I guess, and see if you can't find some grass. So we got bale there, bale there, bale there. Look how nice and hard that is. Nice, eh? Everything's going good. I guess I got nice coffee waiting for me. How's that for a ride along? Nice. Anyway, what's that for? Yes. I'll get to it, and maybe I might get a video, maybe of doing. You guys are dirty. Doing a little bit of wrapping, maybe. I haven't got that yet. Normally I have help. I don't want to film the help wrapping, so don't know. They're not. Well, neither am I. I'm not a big film guy, movie star, nothing. Anyway, let's see if I'll bring you back in. Maybe in the field here. Let's see how many bales we get. So, if you curious what I just said in that fast video. Oh, my nose. I'm all plugged up. I get plugged up from the hay dust. I was saying that's a scab on my nose, not a booger, so I know it's hard not to look at probably, but I always clean the baler out. Normally when I'm done in the field, I'll clean her out a little. I'll take all the old loose hags and bale rolls back. Take all the old loose hay and stuff out of the baler because you don't want that all around anyway, especially when it rains and stuff. So there's the bales. There's 21 bales there, 22 if you count the small one I just dumped. But yeah, see, we got a baby bale here, just a little feller. I'll probably feed this right out. Cows are like that. But yeah, I'll reach in. Normally I open these side panels up and I'll reach in and look at that, nice chaff. Oh geez. I'll reach in and pull that out. Nice look at the stuff. That's a lot of leaf loss though, shatter stuff, but you're gonna get that regardless. See, my nose is all plugged up so I can hardly talk. But yeah, up here she always feels full. Whew. Wasn't that bad. The wind was blowing the right way, so. Ugh. Anyway, I'll stop talking because I sound terrible. But all great. Well, if you're still watching, big thanks. Now what I will do, when I'm done cleaning the road, I'll feel the bearings. Like feel in here and feel that one. These ones are a little harder, but heat will travel through that somewhat. Just anything there that get warm on the end of them rollers. The bearing actually here, right? Feel that in the collar. Same as in here. Do not do it with machine running. Make sure this gate's locked up if you're in there climbing around. There's a bearing, you can feel that. Yeah, it feels good. Side panels, open them up, look in. That's just something I like to do. Get by the door. One there, we felt that, yeah, good. The chains wouldn't hurt to have a little oil on them. Another thing yeah, I won't talk with that, I guess. It doesn't matter, but anyway, if you watched along, thanks a lot. See you on the next one.